No, that's wrong! Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury. No, that's wrong! I might know one reason he could be involved. I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case. I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department. understand? Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality? I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder. I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right? then it's not true? No, that's wrong! Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one. Let me rephrase that, in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one. I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right? Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail. I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists. Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors. Big Mac? Are you referring to me? Huh? I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl? In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common. Here's my answer! Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you? Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange. You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy... On the contrary, there's something very strange. No, that's wrong! I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up. Huh? There is, I think. No, that's wrong! Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord, went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact. Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more. I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me. I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else? Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene. I believe I do. I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is The poster that's hanging in each locker room. The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that? Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room. And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura? I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet. To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other, it's certainly plausible, don't you think? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place. Huh? No, that's wrong! No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook. Because Leon's handbook was broken. girls' locker room? What is it? Chihiro was a guy? Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all. He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him. Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you. Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more. Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision. I got it! No, that's wrong! I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste? But knowing what we know, I can't even guess. Huh? No, that's wrong! Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say? When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said... She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit? And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that? No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony, when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was. But why? What made you so suspicious? Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro? That was fast. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence? Shoot! I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right? I got it! You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you? You knew it? Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it. I might know someone who did. I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was... Here's my answer! Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it? Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it. Shoot! No, that's wrong! Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours? The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours? What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken. Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but... Okay, Then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning? That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong. And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course, but this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated. So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out. Isn't that right, Mondo Owada? This should prove it! If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's, in which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll